So while the media spent Tuesday finding new ways to say how Biden will eviscerate Trump, they missed actual news. The hosts of the first debate include Rachel Maddow. Yay. On the bright side, it could have been John Brennan and Joy Behar. Instead, we get the Duchess of Smirk. Talk about taking the moderate out of the moderator. Rachel's to the left of Marx, and I don't mean the brothers or Richard. Now, she's totally capable, but she's also totally biased. Her livelihood depends on it, and after she spent 2 years hawking a fantasy that painted the president as a Russian stooge, you'd think the Dems would think twice about letting her near the stage. In case you forgot, here's some of her best work.
This guy Kalimnik keeps turning up again and again. Konstantin Kalimnik, he's still Russian military intelligence. Kalimnik, a short man who goes by Kostya, this guy Konstantin Kalimnik, aluminum smelters, sleeping at his smelters, sabotage in his smelters, came to his smelters. Alex Vanderswan, chromium. Atomic number 24, chromium plant in Kazakhstan. Next time you see something chrome-plated, take a deep breath, cough it out, and think of the Trump Soho. Big story, tick, 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 boom, started ticking again. Tick, 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 tick. 4 hours later, boom, boom. You're stressing me out. He starts tick, tick, ticking again.
Well, now the obvious point is, what if Fox News had pulled this stunt and picked a highly opinionated moderator? Sadly, Diamond and Silk were busy. But we'd assume our media pals would get wind of it. But strange, that's not the case here. It's odd how little a ripple this made in the media pond. Instead, they just push absurd hallucinations.
A lot of people are talking about now is that if he loses Trump, he won't go. I absolutely think he will not leave.
How deranged do you have to be, not just to believe that, but to actually say it out loud? The derangement blinds you so much that you forget it's your side trying to undo an election. It's not Trump resisting the vote or the voters, but the left concocting ways to seize power that doesn't require elections. But I get it. It's been a rough 2 years for the media. The country's doing great, and that's bad if your industry is built on bad news. The only thing they have going for them, an active imagination. Too bad the public's learned to ignore it. All right, Katie. It's a they knew they could make this brazen choice because they knew no one would call them on it, right?
Yeah, I mean, the idea that they will pick Rachel Maddow but won't do a Fox News debate with moderators who are in the news business really is astounding to me. Rachel Maddow is basically a conspiracy theorist. If you look back at all the Russia coverage that she did that she claimed was factual, let's question what she actually got right. Very, very little of it. She sat there when Lawrence O'Donnell, who's on after her, said that maybe President Trump responded to Syria and that the Syrians launched a chemical weapons attack to distract away from the Russia issue. I mean, that's a pretty serious conspiratorial charge to make. And this is all about the double standard, right? Conservative media, conservatives are never allowed to ask the questions. Whenever they get a question at the White House press briefing or during a press conference, they're berated by the press as not real journalists capable of asking questions. But Rachel Maddow can moderate a debate.
The thing is,
a double standard.
Yeah, and Juan, we at Fox we have our commentators but we label everything. When you go to the Fox News fridge, you know what you're getting. You know what I mean? You have your straight vodka. And then you have your vodka and soda.
What are you, Greg?
I don't know what I am. I'm kumquat juice.
All right.
How did that pop into your head?
I have no idea.
You're a sick man.
I don't know.
You got to squeeze a lot of kumquats to get juice.
Well, it's kind of tart. I would say generally, we've had people who have opinions as debate moderators, but I think this is sort of egregious, and I'll tell you why. I think we try to abide here at Fox that there's a line between people who are opinion and people who are news. Some people criticize, but look, I've seen this line, and I think the public is best served when it's not blurred. I've seen this here. I've seen it at the Washington Post. At the Washington Post, I was both a reporter and an editorial writer. And when I was a reporter, the editorial people didn't tell me what to do. And when I was an editorial writer, I never even talked to the journalist. So it seems to me that as someone who's done a debate for Fox, I can't believe that MSNBC is doing this. And I think, to pick up on what you were saying, I'm surprised that the Democratic Party isn't saying, hey, we don't like it, because it then opens the door to conservatives doing the same thing down the line.
Exactly, and that opens the door for Jesse Waters.
It's probably
That's what Hannity said, by the way.
It's true. Diamond in silken waters. There you go.
Yes.
Oh my God,
It's probably in her contract, though, to moderate these debates. And NBC didn't want to cause any problems with their biggest political star. They already have enough problems. They're getting sued for $250 million by the Covington boys. They spiked that Weinstein expose. You know, things didn't work out with Megyn Kelly. They didn't work out with Brian Williams. They didn't work out with Matt Lauer. So there's a lot of problems over there. They don't need this. They have a lot invested in Rachel, but her brand has suffered because she lied for 2 years, and so they need to realign her brand with the NBC News division to resuscitate her credibility now, because even the New York Times reporters aren't allowed on her show because she's too fringe.
What do you make all of this, Kennedy?
Well, I look at this and I think if I'm an independent or Democrat voter and I'm looking at this field, I want to hear from them. And I want to hear how they take each other on, how they present their ideas, and if they can do something other than attack the president, which Rachel Maddow can't do that. And so the biggest worry for voters like that is she's going to insert herself too much into these debates when really, you know, these stages, both of them, are going to be incredibly crowded. And you have to be very precise in how you extract information and the questions you ask. So the candidates have to think. And, you know, Lord knows that I don't know that she's capable of asking a really tough follow-up question. And you saw with Charlemagne and Elizabeth Warren, it takes one follow-up question to completely trip up a candidate. And I think it's really important when you've got such a crowded field.
Yeah, and they're not going to, and she's not going to ask questions that will pull anybody to the middle. It'll just be how liberal can you get?
And
how
which candidates does she like best? Is she going to go easier on them? And that's also a disservice to people watching.
I actually don't mind her asking the questions. I mind that there's a double standard about who gets to ask the questions. I think that people are capable of reporting and also having opinions, but this idea that only the left is allowed and the far left is allowed to ask the questions legitimately, that's where it gets ridiculous. Like, if Rachel Maddow is capable of asking questions, so is Jesse Waters.
Is she going to ask Liz Warren about her fake Indian heritage?
Probably not.
I probably don't think so. And she's had Liz Warren on her show about 3 times, I think more than any other Democrat presidential candidate. She's been on Rachel Maddow's show a lot. So it's pretty clear, you know, there's a rooting interest there.
This is an outrage. By the way, Bill Maher's a smart guy. How can you believe that a president would say, I'm not leaving? I mean, that is like the most insidious.
But Greg,
That's insane.
didn't Trump say in the course of the last election, 2016, that he's not going to necessarily abide by the results?
Yeah, and it was Hillary that didn't abide by the results of the election.
No, but I'm just,
She still thinks she's president.
This is why Bill Maher has lost it. He used to be funny. He used to be relevant. But he's acting as though the president has already been defeated. We haven't had the election yet. And we have a lot of run-up between now and then. So stop acting like he's barricaded himself inside the Oval Office with a water pistol and Michael Cohen's carcass.
And 2 scoops of ice cream.
All right.